Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm Ardent Adam, and today's review is for Aliens Fireteam Elite, a game giving you another shot at playing out the enticing fantasy of filling the slimy boots of those glorious colonial marines. A chance to channel your inner Vasquez or Hudson on an express elevator to hell, going down. I have been excited to play this title for some time. I'm a big fan of Left 4 Dead and World War Z. Co-op PvE mixed with the Aliens franchise sounded like a match made in heaven for me. If, like me, you are a fan of the movies, this game fits into the timeline a mere 23 years after the events of Aliens and Alien 3, dusting down on a new planet, LV-895. And you can tell a lot of inspiration has been drawn from Ridley Scott's Prometheus and Covenant movies in its arc.
Those we're about to face evolved to win at all costs. They don't care about their losses, so long as they're the last ones standing. They're as cunning, adaptable, and tenacious as any Marine. But they lack our purpose, our conscience, and our mercy.
You quickly knock up a character with the basic customizations to start with and find yourself on the Endeavour, your ship and base of operations throughout the campaign. Don't worry too much about your character's look at this point. You can jump back in to edit their appearance at any time whilst you're on the Endeavour, and as you play and earn credits you will be able to unlock new attire to get the look just right. This place serves as your hub between missions, with multiple NPCs to give briefings, attitude and backstory, as well as the armoury, where you can purchase new weapons, perks and upgrades for your chosen class. Talking about classes, you have 4 available to choose from the get-go. Gunner, which is your standard grunt with abilities that bolster your team's fire rate and reload speed. Demolisher is your heavy weapons specialist with area of effect damage. The Technician lacks a little firepower in the primary weapons but makes up for it with deployable sentry gun turrets and crowd control. And the Doc, who again packs a little less of a punch but is going to keep everyone tip-top and 5x5. There is a 5th class available by completing the campaign. On any difficulty you will unlock the Recon class, who specialises in long-range weaponry and target acquisition. All of the classes have their own rank and a good amount of customization options, allowing you to switch out primary and secondary weapons and a nifty perks system to switch up your abilities. Now let's get into the gameplay. You have 4 acts to complete, each with 3 separate levels. Completing the entirety of the campaign also unlocks a horde mode for those who like to see how long they can dig in against increasing waves of difficult foes. New extreme and insane difficulties will also be available on completion. The first level is the only one that will be building any tension here, slowly easing you into the horrors to come. You're going to get the vents dropping and what was that noises briefly before you start mowing down Xenos like there's no tomorrow.
Got another swarm brewing. Break out the heavy shit, this is gonna get spicy.
The gameplay is really good. It doesn't hurt that I adore the movies. The atmosphere and the sci-fi weapon sounds I've come to love, from the pulse rifles and the smart guns, ripping holes into the Xenos as they scream out and gush gallons of acidic blood all over the place. And your dwindling ammo supply starts to become apparent as you realise they have you pinned and surrounded, whilst they emerge from the walls and pipes and corridors all around you. They have nailed the feel of the Aliens franchise. The standard difficulty still poses enough of a challenge to get you started. Notably, the standard difficulty highlights the aliens, which is a useful piece of kit for the uninitiated. As you grow in rank and obtain new gear, your combat level score increases, giving you some indication of when you can start taking on the more intense difficulties. There's a lot of sections where you know a fight's going to be coming the moment you trigger your objective. That affords you some time to set up kill zones with turrets, mines and traps to help survive the onslaught. It feels great to hunker down and start the commotion, as your motion scanner starts to beep and your sentries begin to find targets. In the earlier missions the waves start slim and work up to moderate, but even on standard difficulty as you progress to later stages, you start to feel the number of Xenos is being ramped up, and the number of special breed aliens are more frequent.
Right on time. Here come the bugs.
Gun ready.
Keep them off us, or fly yourself home.
Farm, to the right.
You play as a team of 3. There is a matchmaking whenever you start a mission, and I've had no issues finding players. But you can also play it solo if you like, accompanied by 2 synthetic bots, which hold their own. One thing I think they have dropped the ball on, however, is a lack of inbuilt voice comms or chat. Once you're in the game with players, the only communication you have is pings and emotes. Now that's not a problem for the easier difficulties, but I can imagine when you start going through the game on intense, a little more communication with random lobbies would go a long way. You can also choose to spice things up a little in the pre-game lobby by activating challenge cards you have found or purchased at the armory. These add modifiers to the missions. They can limit your available weapons, increase the damage that you take from aliens, or add more frequent enemies throughout and things like that. If you complete the mission whilst using these cards, they award you with greater XP, currency, or cosmetic item rewards. This game is all about the action, but they have also done a fair job on the story. It's not all just dark corridors on colony bases. When you get down to the planet, you begin to explore the ancient engineer civilization's buildings that have been locked down for experimentation by the Weyland-Yutani group, touching heavily on the premise of Prometheus and the giant mysterious race that started all this mess. It's a welcome change in scenery in some sections. Whilst you gear up for delving deeper into the catacombs of these ancient anomalies, there are also secret gear stashes and intel drops to find throughout the missions, which have some interesting dialogue to learn more about the backstory whilst you're back on the Endeavour. It's not going to take you a long time to complete the main story here, but the draw of this game, like Left 4 Dead and its kin, is challenging yourself and your teammates by replaying acts on higher difficulties, with challenge cards and modifiers. What it lacks in length of the main story, it makes up for in replayability, within levelling up different classes, getting new toys to play with, and fleshing out perk builds that will help finally finish a run on Extreme.
No worries, ma'am. What don't kill us just pisses us off more. Defense line! Watch the sniper!
To its credit, there's a good variation in enemy types. You're not just going to be dropping drones constantly. There's a host of different mutations we have come to see from the movies throughout the years, and others that we haven't joining the roster. Other than your beefier warrior aliens, there are spitters, sploders, prowlers and praetorians. You even have to go against rogue synthetics that have their own arsenal of weaponry, and roles like snipers and Miltech specs brimming with firepower. There are other alien breeds also, but I'm not going to go into them all. There's a lot of fun in experiencing a new species for the first time. The graphics throughout are done well. They're not drop-dead gorgeous or going to be pushing a 3080 with RTX and ray tracing, but the setting and atmosphere is done well. There's enough details and lighting to capture the mood, weapon and particle effects going off everywhere looks great, and I've had no issues with frame rate. It runs smooth as silk. The audio is a bit of a mixed bag. For example, I can't fault the weapon sounds, they fit from the movie perfectly. The voice acting is also good, capturing the roughneck marine types well, and I particularly like sections where a base computer is announcing some system shutdown or impending doom, blasting out the base's tannoy systems. But I do feel the music could have been done a lot better. It's not bad, but I can't help but recall the second Aliens movie, with Ripley riding in to save the Marines as they extract from the hive, and think, Jesus, why have I not heard that music? Go all in on the license and take advantage of that amazing soundtrack. That really was a missed opportunity and would have really had me housing nostalgic chills during a large Xeno wave.
Watch behind! Dino!
The AI is good, however. This is no Colonial Marines Part 2, thankfully. You have them taking the ceilings and walls to gain ground on you. The synths use cover. Combat really starts to get frantic when you have numerous special breeds in play amongst a mass of drones closing in. Personally, I can't wait to get stuck into replaying it all on intense difficulty. Enemies will grow in number and it's not going to be as easy to spot where they are when they're not highlighted. That's really going to ramp up the immersion as you get pounced on by 6 little freaks you had no idea had crept up on you. The devs have already expressed a plan for at least a year's DLC and extra content. The deluxe edition includes the Season Pass, which outlines 4 separate DLCs to come, adding new maps, levels and extra customizations for your Marines. I'm looking forward to see what they come up with. It's made by Cold Iron Studios, who were previously only known for MMOs like City of Heroes and Star Trek Online. They were acquired by Fox Next Games in 2019, with the idea of expanding its AAA portfolio with the release of this title. It's published by Focus Home Interactive, who have an impressive backlog such as Battlefleet Gothic Armada, Vampire, SnowRunner, and A Plague Tale: Innocence.
Few more. Stay sharp.
If I had to be brutally honest here, on its own this would have been just an above average third-person shooter. It's the fact that it has the extra oomph behind it of the Aliens franchise that for me makes it excel. I know a lot of people are going to be in the same boat. It's a fantastic universe for the game to take place in. I fondly remember cutting my teeth with the original Aliens vs Predator game for the PC. Alien Isolation also redefined how well this IP can be delivered in gaming. I thought Isolation was a phenomenal single-player experience. Everyone was hyped for the ill-fated Colonial Marines game, which sadly couldn't deliver. But I feel Fireteam has done the movies justice. I'm having a really good time with it, and I'm hopeful they can expand on it in the years to come. Fireteam will shine also with a couple of mates on comms, spewing classic lines from the movies and questioning why you haven't got them up yet, in a tone you feel is entirely undeserved considering you're surrounded by enough acid to melt a hole through the hull of the Nostromo. In summary, I have to say pick this up. I've been having a blast. And maybe I am a little bit biased due to my love for the second movie, but I honestly embrace that. It's still up there with the all-time great movies, even considering it was released in 1986. And yeah, that makes me feel old just saying it. You can pick the base edition of this game up on Steam for $34.99. And as stated previous, there's a deluxe edition, which includes the Season Pass and veteran cosmetics. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch. I really appreciate it. And if you enjoyed this, please do consider subscribing and leaving a comment. I'll do my utmost to get back to you. I'm Ardent Adam. I'm going to leave by saying enjoy your escapism, but I feel someone else should close out this review.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over. What the fuck are we gonna do now? What are we gonna do?